Live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's political recap stream. At the moment, it is just myself, Omegon. Hi, Omegon. Hi. Hope you're well. I'm fantastic. Trups is on his way here. He is delayed, and that is quite alright. He has a job after all. Today, we are going to be discussing a number of things. There are some things coming in from the States that intrigue me. Portland is right at the top. Yes. But I guess we should start. Well, actually, no. I'll say hello to people in the chat first. Hello to Patriarch of the Sith, Christina Zamizi, and Lulu Bell. Hope you're all well. And John. John. Hope you're all having a great Friday. It's been a very warm one here. I went to the gym, had work, went to the gym, made video. Didn't make political videos. Hello, Thick Tip. So there is another thing I should probably address, is that a lack of content on this channel. And I do want to apologise for that, because I want to make more videos. I just could not this week, because I was getting back into the rhythm of going to the gym, and because I got stuck doing something this week that soaked up all the free time I had that I would ordinarily use for making videos. Hello to Cyrene and Karma. Hope you're both well. And that was building a climbing frame for my nieces and nephews. It's now finished, but it did mean I wasn't able to devote time to this channel. With the gym as well, I thought I'd run out of time. No, it was the climbing frame. Now that it is constructed, hello IR, hope you're well. It's one of those things where I'm kind of, yeah, it should be okay next week. So, we're alright. And, yeah, the regular content will resume next week. Which I'm very excited about, to be honest. Because there's lots going on, and I'd like to talk about it. Trump has decided to send arms to Chinese insurgents. Fair enough. And no, you're never escaping that, Thick Tip. Hello, Dark Strange Buttony. Hope you're well. And Lana Day Ray Jane. Hope you're well, too. Trups will be here soon, by the way. He will be here soon. So, I'm going to start. I thought I'd go over what I was doing, because it's going to come up, and the lack of content here does annoy me, because I like making political videos. I really do. So I want to get into it more. There is, interestingly, an update to... Okay, so I've been collecting sources for about a year on my former MP, Charlie Elphicke, who yesterday, after 3 weeks, was found guilty of all three charges again, all three, counts. And his wife, who is now his replacement MP, has immediately divorced him, and he is going to be sentenced in September and will be going to prison. Which surprises me so much. I genuinely, because I've spoken to the guy. I've got a letter from him as well when he did good by my family, and I'm sat back like, Charlie, you absolute melt, because he lied. Hello, Melissa Sass. Hope you're well. Hello, Pool of Zenda as well. So it's really, really irritating. He lied, and he admitted in court that he had lied, and that did him no favours. So yeah, that I'm gonna do a Halls of Injustice on that when not next week, maybe the week after. It'll be long though. It'll be a long one, because honestly, seriously, I have to. I have to. He was my MP. I have no choice, and it annoys me so much, because I'm not even joking. Behind me, on my bedside table, is the letter that he signed. Is it me, or is the stream zoomed in on Meg? It is! Angry viewer, give us Trups. When Trups arrives, you get Trups. Until then, you get me. Thank you for the £4 donation, though. And so it is zoomed in on me, Diskanar. Hello, Diskanar, because Trups is not here. It'd be unwise to have the whole set panned out if my co-host is not here. So instead, you get to listen to me instead for a bit. So I guess we should probably start with what's happened in the United Kingdom. Oh boy. So many of Britain's businesses have warned they now face ruin because Boris Johnson has had to slam the brakes on the easing of the lockdown. And the reason for this is because the rate of infection has started creeping back up at a steady rate. And by steady, I mean it doubled. And that got them moving. Dock him some of his pay. Yes, do not donate to his Streamlabs. Donate to mine. Mine is streamlabs.com/TrupsLP. It might just be Trups, I don't know. It doesn't matter, just give him the shekels. So yes, there may well be... Originally, the lockdown plan to loosen the lockdown anyway was going to be for August the 1st, which, unless I'm mistaken, was meant to be tomorrow. That would have allowed a number of other businesses to start operating again, like having crowds and sports events, although I did see some in the snooker today, but they were social distanced, which is really weird for the Crucible to have so few fans, yet they make the same amount of noise. Clearly the acoustics were in their favour. And so places like bowling alleys, nah, not happening. Pubs though, yeah, you're fine. Pubs are fine, which is good because that means my pub isn't shutting again. Great. I've only been doing that job for 2 weeks. I'd like to keep it a bit longer. Last thing I want to have to do is use whatever pay I've got in this envelope here. Here it is. I haven't actually bothered opening it yet. And having to make that last a bit longer than I did last time, which was quite a challenge. So the intention is to push it back to August the 15th at the earliest. This means places like casinos are also being delayed, along with wedding receptions as well, which has caused much confusion for those who get married, because they're like, but can't I get married? You probably can, actually. Have you ever considered using Zoom? The Prime Minister also announced an extension of the face covering rule, which is now going to include museums, galleries and places of worship, which is why I've taken the opportunity on the Moisky merch Teespring to... Hello Roger Brown, by the way, I saw you there. And Russell Burnham and Mrs. C. Hope you're all doing well. Yes, I notice. I made one because I thought I want one, and I don't want anyone else's. Still on Teespring. Yes, go nuts. Professor Chris Whitty is like one of those experts in this that the government rely on. Has warned though that UK has reached a limit for how much of society can be opened up without there being a vaccine for coronavirus. So, there was a partial lockdown that has been... Hello, Raccoonus Maximus, hope you're well. And hello, Socky. There is a thing in the north, Greater Manchester, parts of Lancashire, West Yorkshire, where a partial lockdown has been reimposed. So residents have been banned from meeting people they don't live with in homes or gardens, but you can still go to the pub, which is lovely, isn't it? So, what lockdown easing measures have been postponed? You have, obviously, wedding receptions of more than 30 people are not allowed to take place, and they're delayed until August 14th. Test sporting events that we put on ice. Close contact beauty services, such as facials, cannot open until at least August 15th. So if I check my list of things that are banned, I'll make the porn joke now. In UK porn, facials I think are on the list. Dangerous. Eye hazard. Casinos, bowling alleys, ice rinks, face masks. I think I might be a Trups alert and I didn't have it up. I'm sorry. Face masks will be compulsory in most indoor public spaces, including places of worship and museums. Police, though, are to be granted new powers to enforce social distancing rules, including the wearing of face masks, which actually makes a bit of sense because I've noticed the police presence yet again. Hello, Kid Sid. Hope you're well. I've noticed it creep up again. And that's really interesting to me because we don't really have this issue here. You walk up to a shop, and I've got it on my desk. Where's my... Okay, it was on my desk. Oh, yeah, I've got one. I've got a work one here. What's that called? A K90... no, N99. I have a regular face mask I have. I just walk up to the shop, put it on, go in, get my stuff, and leave. It says self-service. I'm out of there very quickly, right? You're so overdue for your Brazilian, Russell. I figured you would be. It's a bit of an odd one. Boris's announcements also coincide, though, with some damage to the economy. A 65-point slump in the FTSE because of the uncertainty, which I get. No, N95 is not what I have. This one is an N99. That's what it says on the packaging here. We do have N95s at the job. I don't actually have to wear them, to be fair. I just have it as a backup. Let's see. Okay. Boris also says, though, that he believes normal life should then start resuming by Christmas. But since the Office of National Statistics are estimating there are now 4,200 new cases every day, up from 2,000 a day by the end of June, I don't think that's the case without some kind of vaccine. It makes sense, right? Here's my quick take, Raccoonus Maximus. I give it till November, December before the general public revolts and demands the disablement and disassembly of government. Possibly. 99s have a flake sticking out. Exactly, IR. You made the joke. So, I'm not huge on face masks, but I just don't care enough. I'll put it on. I mean, I wouldn't mind one that looks a bit more fancy than these ones that make my face look like I'm wearing a duck's bill, but it's what happens. What's really caused a bit of trouble here, though, is that many communities up north, in the regions of Lancashire, Yorkshire, Manchester, are quite. There's a lot of that celebrate Eid. I should say, Muslim communities. I don't know anything about Eid. I genuinely don't. As many know, I don't pay attention to religion. I know bugger all about it. I know bugger all about nearly every religion, though, to be fair. Except for Jedi. But I really don't, because I don't care. And that's not a shot at anyone who does believe in one of those things. I just... apathy. That's it, right? Squids do have beaks, but I'm Cthulhu Ken. See the wings on my back? Yeah, it's right there, look. On the left side. Yes. Cthulhu Ken. Unfortunately, there are a number of Muslim leaders who believe that this coinciding with Eid is, well, not just unfair, but also some form of bias. Some form of attack on Muslims of the United Kingdom and preventing them from celebrating whatever Eid is. I'm sure somebody can tell me what it is, but there's apathy, and I think you get it, right? It's been deemed she has the right to trial in the UK. Oh, you're talking about Shamima Begum. She has the right to the trial, but Jem, hello Jem, by the way, the government today won the right to take the appeal to the Supreme Court. So this will now go. That appeal that they will now lodge against this decision from the Court of Appeals will go to the Supreme Court, and hopefully, I mean, I'm happy to take it to the European Court of Human Rights at this point. It's possible it will still stand, or it could get rejected, and Shamima loses and stays there. I'm okay with this. But I have been collecting sources in preparation for a possible win on her part. Because I'll be honest, it makes for another interesting video in a very long series I've done on this channel. The Omegon channel, that is. But yes, back to this. Police have had to start breaking up 200-strong street parties in East London for people celebrating Eid. And so in Ilford on Friday, the Met received numerous calls from the public about large groups of people gathered on the street ahead of the religious festival. Police approached people in the crowd and urged them to go home. Unfortunately, as people dispersed, a fight broke out between two groups. In the process of that fight happening, much of it was recorded and posted on TikTok. One police officer did get hurt pretty badly, a head injury, so some people have been arrested on suspicion of public order offences and assaulting an emergency worker. I should point out, if a guy goes to prison for peeing on a monument to a police officer, what do you think happens when you hit a police officer on the back of the head? Now I'll add another factor to it. What happens in the United Kingdom when it's, well, in this case, a white police officer gets hit by a very angry Muslim man. I don't want to make the rest of that joke because I think it's fairly obvious. But I don't think he'll get too much into too much trouble because there's an obvious bias. Chief Superintendent Steve Clayman of the Met's East Area said that while we accept the celebrations take place, we have no desire to spoil them for the community. If they descend into violence, we absolutely step in. Which is an interesting thing, because you stepped in. Smash like to end COVID. Exactly, Karma. And hello, not a great gamer. Hope you're well. And Aslihan, hi. It's an interesting thing to say that, because your police officer stepped in before it got violent, and then it got violent, and you guys got hurt. So, one does have to wonder. So, as part of the investigation now going forward, Scotland Yard has gone to confirm the Met's Directorate of Professional Standards has now been notified. They will now review all body-worn cameras, because most police are now starting to wear cameras. Because nothing makes me happier than knowing that when their footage reviewed, much of them are sat in a car eating donuts or taking a dump. Yeah, that's not a joke either. That's pretty much what they do. Another unfortunate thing about this now, though, is, and I know many in the UK will get this one off the bat, hello, the memes of destruction. Hope you're well. Most people will realise it's been a little bit toasty today. Yeah, little toasty. I've had discussions with my sister, actually, about the aircon we have. I think I'm going to have to, when I get my August self-employment income support scheme money, I may buy a second air conditioning unit just so we can have one downstairs, one upstairs. But the one upstairs, we've got to find somewhere to put it, and I don't know where. It's really tricky. I may have to see if we can get a hole put in my wall and it connected that way. We'll work it out. But it's been quite warm. Let's see. Today, I think in my area it was 29 degrees, which is all right. It's warm. It's warm. I was still wearing. To be honest, I was still wearing my. I don't know why I've reached over for it. I was still wearing a. I have this really tatty hoodie. I don't know how to describe it. What it's made of. It kind of makes me think it's like a knockoff version of denim, but not. Like Karma knows what I'm talking about because I was wearing it when we met up at Christmas, and it's just a tatty hoodie. I was wearing it all day, doing my work and building that frame in the sun. But yeah, it's a bit on the warm side, and it's not been great. I mean, I've got my air cooler on right now, and it's just focused right on me. I'll be sleeping on top of the quilt tonight, I think. And I think I'll have to use assistance. So, it got a bit warm, but with this, the temperature's going up. People are going on staycations. I don't know what that means, by the way. Can somebody tell me what a staycation here is? Yeah, I have a tan line on my hand because of that hoodie, by the way. No lie, halfway up my hand there's a tan line. It's very funny. It's just a weird transition of brown to brown. So Leeds and Manchester are expected to reach up to 31 and 26. And people are being told in Bournemouth and Brighton, yeah, no, go away. Don't come near us. Aslihan, by the way, I'm a Muslim and totally get that big celebrations shouldn't be allowed. My grandmother passed away because of the virus and I couldn't go to her funeral. I am so sorry that you couldn't do that. And I'm glad you respect that. I really am. I think most people had to respect. I know some say, oh, what about Christmas? Yeah. It's a bit trickier. Hello, Trups. It's a bit trickier because it's not the same type of holiday, really, is it? Hello, Keith. Hope you're well. Hello, Grey Jade. Staycation. Someone participates in leisure activities you would normally do on a vacation at home. Didn't know that. I don't do vacations, so I don't even know what a stay. I don't. You know, it's not in my vocabulary, I'm afraid.
Staycation basically means I get to stay home and do the things I wanted to do the whole time.
That sounds like a load of bollocks, then. Okay. So
yes, it's usually people who are stuck in like places that don't have a whole lot to do.
Oh, okay. Well, I have my computer, so I'm quite alright. My guitars. I think I'll stay and just do my thing.
Staycation all the time, then.
Yeah. Obviously I must be going on a permanent holiday. So people are being told not to go. Oh, by the way, in some areas in the UK, it was the third hottest day ever recorded. So it wasn't exactly, you know, in some places it was 100 Fahrenheit. In other areas, whereas the hottest was 101.3. So there were some places that were hotter. And so it's not, you know, it's not like we normally get this kind of heat. Tomorrow it's supposed to be cooler, which is good because I'm going to a stupid fucking birthday party, but fine. And it's been a bit of a... Oh, I'll just put this out here. Better. People are being told to stay away because of the resurgence of the air quotes, resurgence of the virus. And because people are worried you cannot enforce social distancing, which is why the thumbnail is a picture of lots of people on a beach. Because even if you look at that, that's Brighton. Well, it's one of the piers anyway. You'll notice there is no social distancing going on there. Come on, give them their cubicle spots, you know. But that's not what's going to happen here, is it? You can't cordon off a spot and say, right, you get this sheet right here near the beach, right? You can't do it. It's not possible. Many are going on staycations. In fact, there are a number of campsites in the UK that are fully booked up until, like, end of September. And I knew about this a few weeks back because my older sister, she wanted to take her and her daughter, just go away for a couple of days, just them, because they don't get to do that. And I can respect that, because you just want to take your kid away and just spend some time together without anyone else involved. Right? Hello, Acridian. Hope you're well. And it just wasn't happening. And Dark Strange Bunny, I believe. I don't know if I said hello to you. Oh, I did. Yes, I did. I'm saying it again. Hi. So people, you know, she couldn't go because it was so expensive. Like £500 for 2 days, and we're like, no, we're not. You're not doing. You can't even afford that. Even if I gave you the money for the kitchen, well, with the kitchen money, but you're not. I'm not giving you the money to go on a 2-day two-day camp vacation thing. You're pale, are you? I'm sorry to hear that. But yes.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. F in the chat for Trups paleness. In any case, it's kind of a tricky one right now. Prime Minister has been put in a very difficult position. It's going to be an unpopular one, but at the same time, I think even the opposition will have to support it, because the fact is, if the numbers are going up, you've got to slow something down. And I really don't want it to be that after my first week of going back to the gym, 5 days in a row, I've gone there and I've absolutely smashed it, right? Genuinely, everything was aching like mad up until this morning. You know, so you got to get through that barrier. Got through it, I'm fine. I don't want to now have to be put back in a position where I can't go for another 10, 12 weeks or something. Or longer, in fact. I don't want that. I want it to stay open, please. So can people just, like, you know, practice a little consideration for us in the UK? just a little. I know some festivals and holidays are important, but dude, I want them gains. It's
good.
It's selfish, but I'm okay with it.
Get them gains.
Before we continue, hello, Trups.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How is Trups?
Oh, fucking traffic sucks.
Does Trups have a drink yet?
No, Trump's sat down, put down my bag from work, sat down at the computer,
mate.
put on my headphones, and logged in.
I'll get yourself a drink.
Nah, that's fine.
Okay, I'll just do the drinking.
Yeah, drink in honor of me. I have a seltzer water here. That's about it.
That's pretty much all. I've got water. Water. That's it. I can't.
No, Walter, that's another good one.
I'm not doing any. Yeah, I'm not going to do any alcohol tonight. Fuck that. Nah, we're not doing them things.
I have a headache just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's the wrong kind of weather for it. So how are you today? What's been going on?
Hot, dude. U.S. politics are fucking just obnoxious
Have you seen
now.
Have you seen the sources I've been posting in our little area for you?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. The Fleckus one is one of my favorites.
Oh, that is such a good video. I wished I pulled it up for everyone. Do you want to tell everyone what it is?
Yeah, let's go into that topic. So I don't know how much you guys know about who Fleckus Talks is. He is a Hispanic who goes around to protests, riots, popular events, all that kind of shit, and he goes and he'll interview people about, like, okay, hi, what are you doing here? What are you protesting about? And then invariably it'll end up where he will ask a bunch of questions, and the people there often don't know what they're doing there.
Yeah.
At least in the last year or so, that's been the case.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't say he's right-leaning, but he's logic-leaning, which is inherently anti-left.
In this video that we're going to talk about is quite funny. I just want to say a couple of things. There was another video that came up involving the person in the video, who I won't spoil, I'll let you do all that, of this person talking about paper ballots and the importance of them, only to then more recently be fundamentally against them, which is really interesting. Also, this person is really short. I've noticed the belt doesn't line up with their trousers, and their jacket sits on them so weird I can't tell if their hips are given out or their shoulders are far beyond their back, like to the point where they walk. It's a very strange walk. You know what I mean?
Penguin-like, if you will.
Yeah. It's just the shoulders are so far back as well. I don't get it, and they're so short. I was very surprised by this. He's like a gnome.
Yes. Well, the person that we are describing is none other than Jerry Nadler, a Democratic representative in Washington.
Roger Brown got it straight away. We haven't even got there yet.
Oh yeah, he did. I'm sure as soon as I mentioned Fleck's talks in must be Nadler. Yep. But so he was asked by Fleck's when I guess Fleck's just found him.
Yeah,
chilling out in DC. He looked like he was just sitting on a fucking bench.
I think so.
And Fleck's saw him and says, Representative Nadler, what do you think about the Antifa violence that is happening in places like Portland, Oregon, and across the United States? Jerry Nadler responds with one of the most asinine things, but also very telling things.
Oh, it was cringe.
That I have ever heard. He said that in regards to the Antifa violence, that is a myth being spread around Washington, D.C. and nowhere else.
And then he waddles back to his car, and he looks like he's about to fall over when I'm watching the video. His belt and trousers, his trousers are underneath his belt's above his trousers.
Yes. He is a fat, orbular man, if you will.
Is he really fat? I couldn't tell from a weird angle that he
Yes.
walks.
I'm pretty sure he is.
He's an
orb. Let's just go with orbular.
He's so tragic. I don't want to tax on their appearance, but the suit doesn't fit. Your belt doesn't work. Give up, mate. Put some sweat. Just put some sweats on, okay?
Better.
But I'll link in the chat the tweet we are referencing. It was only one of a number of tweets I saw that amused me. The other one was when Jerry Nadler, in his younger days, with a far more potent voice, was speaking about how important it was to have a paper trail. He loves a paper trail, and I agree with him on this. It's that way of you can just see everything. He admits it's not is it infallible? Yeah, he admits that, but he believes it to be so fundamentally important to voting, and I agree with him. Electronic votes are a tricky one, and give it time, I'm sure it will take over anyway. But it's been brought up because of, I believe, some comments being made about not wanting that kind of stuff now. Even though in New York, which is where this, I think, was centered, there were issues with voting ballots being corrupt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, shocker. Like, no one is surprised at this. This is not news to anybody living in the real world. And honestly, it's not news to some of these journalists who have written about these things when it suited them. There were New York Times articles, Washington Post articles, CNN articles, all talking about the dangers of mail-in voting prior to 2014.
Yeah.
But, now... Oh, and... Well, hold on. Let's continue on the Nadler thing before I jump into the other major fucking bombshell that dropped regarding voting in the United States.
Oh, God, yeah. Fucking hell.
Yeah, right? So Nadler says that this is a rumor being only spread around in Washington, D.C. And it makes me wonder what kind of experiences this man has. Because obviously that's a rumor being spread around Portland, right?
Mm-hmm.
because that's where it's centered around. But no, Nadler says that this rumor, this quote unquote myth of Antifa violence is something that is being spread around Washington, D.C. Okay, are you sure about that? Because it's on the internet too. I don't know if he knows what that is. I've seen him on live stream fucking calls for his Senate hearings.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like he knows what a mute is, because when he was on the more recent panel against the big tech firms, he was getting messages left, right every time he fucking talked. But this man has repeatedly called Antifa violence a myth, which begs the question, ignorance or negligence?
There is that argument made that many politicians, when they spend too long within politics, they're so involved in that bubble, they don't see anything going on outside of it, beyond what they read in the tabloids, and then they consider that to be sensationalized. Because they're not there on the ground. They don't... Like, this guy's a congressman.
Mm-hmm.
Where? New York, yeah?
I think so, yeah.
Surely he has to go there at some point, and I'm sure Antifa have a presence there.
Oh, absolutely.
Then it is ignorance on his part.
But I wonder if it's willful ignorance. Is
I think it is. I think it is. It has to be.
Because there's no way that this man goes through life and never once hears about Antifa violence anywhere but Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. There's no way that he doesn't get a letter from somebody in, I don't know, from any of the constituencies that deal with the Senate Judiciary here, or the House Oversight Committee. There's no way that anybody hasn't written him a letter and said, "Sir, with all due respect, you're fucking wrong."
Yes.
Like, he has to know. And the fact that he knows and will say this is terrible.
It is. It's
villainous. It's so horrible that I don't know how we deal with it, actually.
No.
Like, if it were a single person, like, for example, the congressman who is going for election in Florida, who just the other day called Dragon Ball Z explicit sexual exploitation through anime that is being exposed to our children.
The only thing I knew about that could come close is the scene. Isn't that in the one where the kid pulls some knickers down or something?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I know. I've maybe seen clips here and there, but I've never watched it, so I don't know much.
I mean, there's some like innuendo, but no more that's it than is in your like SpongeBob.
No.
Nah, not really. But oh my god, the fact that man, the Florida guy who's running for Congress, is saying that Dragon Ball Z, of all things, of all anime, is the thing that is exposing potentially sexually explicit materials to our children. Sir, how old are you? How long has it been since you've been told this? Because you're about 20 plus years too late to make Dragon Ball Z as your, like, top level fucking complaint when it comes to anime.
Yeah. I say we ban anime anyway. Screw it.
No. No.
Yeah, let's ban that shit.
Equal treatment of anime. Fuck you.
In all seriousness, I don't watch anime. I have no vested in, much like talking about religion, I have no interest at all. Don't care enough. You go nuts, though. You believe in your anime, and
yes, I believe in my anime.
I'll let people watch their gods on TV.
Indeed. Well, they do. They're just called Democrats, and they see Jerry Nadler on TV.
Oof.
Oof. Big oof. But no, he said it again, that comment about the Antifa myth thing. He said it at another point in time. I believe it was during Bill Barr's hearing, which happened, I think, maybe like 2 or 3 days since this video had originally come out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much you knew about that, but Nadler was basically chairing that event, if you will, that hearing, and he wouldn't let Bill Barr get a fucking word in. No, he would overstep on him and tell him that what Bill Barr is doing for Donald Trump is tantamount to a re-election campaign through like intimidation of the federal government on the good people of the United States, and that we all see through it, and you can't lie about facts. And we're all sitting there looking at this video going, wait, what? Hold on. Facts.
What are facts?
Democrat kryptonite.
Citation needed. Bamboozled. Yes. So what's been going on elsewhere with the voting?
So, Donald Trump.
Oh, God.
The other day had questioned on Twitter if, due to ongoing complaints about fraud and mail-in voter fraud and the integrity of our elections, he questioned, should we postpone the election? Now, that led to a bunch of different responses. There was the most expected response is, Trump's a dictator, man. And a whole bunch of angry yelling about Trump and him trying to take over the world via election rescheduling. The other was, he's failing so hard that he can only cheat in order to win. Yep, that's it. Most everyone else is going, no, I don't think we got to do that. And then they've moved on with their day.
Would you like to hear something I just found out?
Please.
Boston Marathon bomber won his death penalty appeal.
You know, that's funny. You know what? I agree.
You do?
He should get that appeal. Well, in a very interesting way.
Go on,
You
then.
see, when the Boston Marathon bomber was arrested, they had to keep him very, very locked up for his own safety, because the people of Boston were pissed, and the people of Boston were going to kill him in the street. So, I'm interested. This guy wants his death sentence appealed. Do you? Okay. I hope it goes as well as you hope. Because the moment they say, you're released and you're free to go, I guarantee you an entire mob of Bostonians are going to be ready to string him.
Well, so the Justice Department now, if they want to sentence him to death following the order, they have to have a new trial just for the penalty phase. But he will remain behind bars for the rest of his life, as he's not challenged the counts related to his life sentences. So thankfully, for his own safety, he'll do what I would, obviously being me, I would normally sentence someone to an ISO cube for life, and he would stay in there for the rest of his life. I would probably go down the Breivik route, keeping him in a cell and having him completely isolated from literally everyone for the rest of his life. That's the Norwegian guy who went on the shooting spree.
There are some people in this world who have done such terrible things that I want to have an international games in which, an international gladiator arena.
Oh, Capua! Let's bring back Capua. Yes.
Yeah, death race, fucking gladiator fights. Let's do it.
We'll get some.
We can take that asshole that Dankula made a video on like a week ago or two. The kid who killed some kid when he was 10.
Oh, John Venables, yeah.
Yeah, we can take him. We'll take the Boston Bomber. We can take
Boston By the way, I haven't
I
seen
don't
that
know.
video, but I know exactly who you're talking about because that's one of the most famous cases here. I'd like to
We'll
get.
take him. We'll have him fucking dueled to the death with like a fucking shiv.
Is Crixus still alive? Can we get the undefeated goal? It'd be fantastic.
Don't know.
Let's do it. I'm
But
more
for
of a
people,
I'm more of a
well,
Thunderdome
for
guy
people who have
personally.
like people who have such terrible like counts of which there is no way they could have gotten the wrong guy. Yeah, let's do it.
Thunderdome. Yeah, it's a mess. Do you know
You
what's
were saying
been?
something like that. You were.
Do you know what's been going on in Portland?
A bunch of things.
Would you like to talk about
The
that?
last thing that I know of was that Trump and the mayor, Ted Wheeler, Ted Wheeler tweeted that he called a ceasefire.
Mm-hmm.
And then the governor, Kate Brown, and Trump had a meeting to basically argue for the terms of their surrender. Both sides thought they were going to do that to each other. And from what I understand, Portland was given an ultimatum to get what they wanted. And it was police your own shit so we don't have to.
Yep.
At which point they said, okay.
Shocker.
Right?
It's absolutely
So,
pathetic.
now, if you look at what's going on in Portland, it's much the same, except now it's state police.
Yep.
So,
I like the part where the all the federal officers sort of pulled out, and the first thing you see are the state police getting their heads kicked in. Like,
yeah,
you said things would die down. That's not what's happened at all. You're as bad as Nadler at this point. You are. You should resign. Both you, Wheeler, and is it Ward? Is that the governor?
no, Governor Kate Brown.
Brown. Sorry, it's such a generic name. It's easy for me to get it wrong.
Oh, that's okay. We have plenty of those over here.
Well, I think they should resign at this point because you're not doing your job, and that's protect the city and the people within it, especially. You're not protecting them.
No, in fact they're being used as pawns.
Obviously.
Because I feel a little bad about some of the younger activists, the younger impressionable ones, who have basically just been fed lies and used as essentially a brown shirt in democratic warfare against, I guess, Trump, the patriarchy, the white people. I don't know. Because there's so many different wars that leftist ideology is waging that I have a hard time keeping up with it all.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel terrible about some of these younger people who have been explicitly lied to in their quest for doing what's right, and instead they have been basically co-opted in their own interests to do wrong for a promised good.
Yeah.
But that promised good is a lie. Go on.
Oh no, I'm typing in the chat. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. But that's kind of my, like, when I say I feel bad for some of these younger protesters.
I do feel bad for them, but at the same time, this has spilled out of control. Now I'm in a position of, you're going to have to stop at some point, guys. I can't put you all on timeout together. But I'm happy to do it if need be. We'll stack.
There was talk for a little bit. I don't know how, how serious they were, but most of East Oregon wanted to leave. They didn't want to be a part of that state anymore.
Understandable. I mean, Portland
Right?
now is being spoken of in such a negative light. I'm sorry.
Right.
I think of it. I can only think of two things, and not one of it's positive. One is the protests, and the other is mundane Matt. Because I believe he used to live around there, and that's just not. Nah.
No, and honestly, it's been. I believe the word is yuppie.
Yuppie, yeah. I haven't heard that
I
word in a
believe
while.
that's the word.
It's a good word. I
Um,
love that word. I love it. Bring it back. Bring back
it's
yuppie.
the young upstart fucking hippie bitches.
Yeah, we call people yuppies all the time around here. When I was a kid, it was just like, that was a word of the '90s. I loved it. For those who are
The
interested, go on.
yeah. No, I was just gonna say there's a place in North Carolina called Asheville that we call yuppie.
Nice. I will, just for those interested in the chat, on my YouTube, Instagram, and now I put one on Twitter earlier, or well, one and a video. There is a picture of a bulldog puppy. Now, the thing is, he learnt to climb the stairs to come up into my room, and then I put him on my bed where he stayed there because he likes being around me. I have an affinity with dogs, I think. So he's the only dog, and this might be considered a hate crime. He's the only one out of all the dogs here. He's the only one that's gone straight for the Trump dog toy. That looks like a plush. It's a squeaker one. It makes. Oh, where is it? It's on my bed. He's the only one that's gone for it. Oh, here it is. That. He's the only one that's gone for it and tried to do damage. So I posted a 30-second video of him attacking Trump earlier, and then I tweeted at Trump about debating Waffles. Where did I put it? I put it somewhere.
Right.
What was it? Oh yeah, Trump. You're up for a run against an English bulldog puppy. He's got a solid bite and will happily debate, and probably it makes more sense than most opponents. Yes, he does. But it's a fun.
Yeah, quite.
I didn't want to say.
Puppies.
I would have said speaks more sense than Biden, but I don't want to be triggering too many people. Because
No, not too many.
because unfortunately, much like Biden, the puppy dribbles too.
Does he sniff hair?
In the video, he looks like he's ripping Trump's hair out. He might be sniffing it first. You look at him. I got the video on my. I'll see if I can get it on the screen for people. No, mute that. Close that. Open window capture. That'll do it. Okay, it's on the screen. Right. So, this is what Waffles, and that's the Trump. Oh, it's not actually doing anything. That's nice. That's brilliant. Let's do this instead. Will that play? There we go. Waffle attacking Trump. Trump is down. President's down, everyone. I'm very sorry. F in the chat for Trump. Oh, savage. He's gone straight for the leg. Trump his foot is getting mashed up, mate. It's getting mashed up. Oh, now he's come over to celebrate. No, he's going to body slam the president. Yeah, he's going for the hair again. He's got this. Yeah, that's Waffle for you, everyone. Yeah, let's get rid of that window.
This is very important political commentary.
This is the single most important thing you'll see all day. And I thought I'd share it because I was very proud of it.
Good, yes. And everyone should go and like that video immediately.
Yes.
As if not just for the ruthless assault on a caricature of our president, but look at his fucking face. It's adorable. People like it.
He's a little shit. I like him. He doesn't live here, so that's the thing. I don't. He's not mine, but it's one of those weird things with dogs. They just gravitate towards me, which is all right.
Yeah,
he's all right.
Because dogs.
To be fair, no joke. We've had voting polls for mayors in the UK, and animals have won. I think a hamster won at one point, or a dog. It's happened in the US as well, I believe, with a dog winning a mayoral campaign.
I believe a cat also won a political position.
Yeah, if your politics get any more batshit insane, say hello to President Waffles, everyone.
Yeah, well, the problem with having a animal as a president is, unfortunately, they have to be at least 35 years old.
In dog years, it's fine. That's like 7 years. You're fine, or not even that. It's 6 years. No, 5 years. It's fine. Yeah. Is it 7 years?
The best luck you'll have is with like a tortoise.
Oh my god! It's just the idea of a tortoise a tortoise reenacting Bill Clinton's best moments in the Oval Office.
I did not have sexual relations with that one.
And then you just cut to a video of him going, eh, eh, eh. Yes. Oh, that'd be fucking amazing. I'm very sorry for the distraction, guys. It's just I can't be asked.
No, it's fine.
It's too warm.
But right now, the state of American politics is kind of messed up in like a different way than usual. You've got COVID, you've got the protest, you've got general anti-Trump sentiment, and as it turns out, a lot of people are starting to actually speak up that they hate hearing about it.
Yeah.
The United States, there was a journalism.org poll that I found that said that for the people who get the majority of their news from social media are 40% more likely to be misinformed about about said politics.
Really?
So when AOC says things like, we get our news from Twitter, fucking cry.
Yeah. I do whenever that happens, actually. Not overly
because
fun,
that's utter shit and it's awful and that's a terrible thing to admit.
It is. It is.
And there's no recourse for it. There's nothing that we can do.
No, not at the moment, anyway.
Nope. Now, if we could figure out how to maybe fix the big tech issue, which again they have been working on that.
That was happening over the week, wasn't it? A number of officials.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
You know what it all turned out to sound like?
Shit.
Oh yeah, well we disagree with doing these things. That sounds terrible. We promise to work with you guys to make sure it never happens again. Fuck you. Start threatening them with legal action, like actual legal action, and stop pussyfooting around like, hey, you want to come to a hearing? No, fucking put them under arrest.
Honestly, that was the tragic thing. You could tell they were just phoning it in.
Oh my god, and Zuckerberg is like the biggest bullshitter. Because I don't know if he's actually like stupid or he's intelligent and just really bad actor. Because the thing is like he looks as if he has no fucking idea what's going on.
I don't think he does. That's the annoying thing.
I don't think he does either, but we're fucking here and he's got to do something, and they're like, hey, by the way, what does Facebook think about this thing? And he goes, oh wow, we don't stand by that kind of stuff at all. If I knew that these things were happening, we would not let it happen. I'm like, oh great, it's fucking happening, do something about it. Like one of the things was like, if you found out that your employees were using their political biases to censor other people, what would you like? Would you admit right now to like stop that? And they were like, if we found out that it was happening, we would stop it. And all of them said that, and I was like, you're such fucking liars.
Yeah, that was the point where I was. That's an awful lot of bullshit I can smell. How come no one else has noticed that horrific stench?
Oh, they did. There were several who did and who brought it up.
No one did nothing. No one did anything about this. It's like, what can you even do?
What do you want them to do? Stone cold stunner them on the fucking table?
I'd like them to do that and then smash a couple beers. That'd be fantastic. I'd be much happier, though, with something far simpler. I'd like either an RKO out of nowhere, or for someone to literally curb stomp the lot of them.
Honestly, I would just rather them... because most of the people who are commenting about this kind of thing are saying that the best option that we have is 230 reform.
Yeah.
Which basically will say that these companies can be acted as a public platform, as a public forum, and as long as you don't fucking sue them for the comments that are made on the platform, then that it should be fine. The problem is that these guys are curtailing speech despite most of the world running on it. Like, Dorsey couldn't show up.
Shocker.
He was supposed to be there.
Does he have a reason to? That man's worth so much money, he could just
I
send
don't
a monkey
remember.
in his place. It's a
But you
chimp
had
in his place.
Bezos show up. You had Pachai.
Yeah,
So you had
Bezos.
Amazon, Google, and Facebook there. But you didn't have
Damn.
Twitter. You didn't have Walmart. Because you want to talk about fucking competition and trust busting. Walmart.
That I don't know anything about Walmart, I'm afraid.
Walmart is basically a superstore that sells everything.
Okay.
Sells, things from food
Right.
to hardware
Yeah.
to electronics, books, fabric, toys, exercise equipment. Yeah,
They sell
they're a
everything.
superstore.
Okay, gotcha.
And they're in every major fucking place. And when I say major place, I don't mean like major city. I mean like if it's a town and it has like 2,000 people, there's probably one nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to talk about how competition is stifled under Facebook or under Google's ad policies? Nah, dude. How about the fact that you just moved in a fucking Walmart and a Target right next to each other, and you have a mom and pop fucking art store down the street that now no one's gonna go to?
Right. Okay. Oh, and to those in the chat who pointed out Walmart run Asda, that means jack shit. They're all still called Asda. And
Yeah,
Asda,
but it's Walmart.
no, it's not though. That's the thing. You described something that is it's just essentially a mall without all the shops. We don't. We have shopping centers, yes. Asda is still not that. There are some that are quite large that could be close to that, but they're really not. They're Asda that are owned by Walmart. They still retain the very much Asda qualities.
Well, the problem is that, okay, but if it's a trust busting effort, and now you've taken another large superstore and now bought them, who's going to contest Walmart in that business?
Oh, they're not.
No one. That's the point, and that's why it's the trust busting has to happen, because there is no feasible free market competition that can happen due to them basically throwing down everything because they have enough money to, in cheap prices, in benefits and wages for employees, to move employees from place to place. Walmart has the ability to basically outsell to a customer or an employee anything. And that's where their competition is basically not contestable in any reasonable sense.
Well, I guess that makes it all rather tricky. I had thought there'd be more discussion on the silencing of voices on social media. I was very disappointed.
I think it would have been important, but I think one of the more aggressively disturbing things that someone mentioned that their responses were just disappointing was in regards to their opinion on Chinese entities trying to steal American intellectual property. And the majority of them were like, we don't know that's even happening.
Yeah, that was a bit
I was like, really, Bezos? Really?
Yeah. X to
you
doubt.
don't know anything about that.
Doubt.
Facebook. Okay, if I'm going to be real honest, Pachai, how many people do you have named Chu on your in your employees? How many people do you have named Muhammad? Just because it's typical. But if you have a gross over let's call it a majority, a disproportionate majority of Asians in Google, then I think you see my point. The fact that some Chinese have tried to utilize different techniques through these major networks to exploit American intellectual property is really fucking obvious every time you scroll through Facebook, actually. I don't know if you guys get the same sponsored fucking store pages that are basically, hey, this was cursory based on something that you searched up once.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want this Chinese knockoff from this really sketchy website? No. No, I don't. But they're everywhere, and I get new ones every day. So not only are products being stolen, but then they're being sold through Facebook ad dollars.
Yeah.
So
I did find it quite interesting that when these things were going on, these discussions, air quotes, there was some talk about the fact that this is some of the discussion about silencing of voices has now just continually reinforced that Alex Jones was right, especially with some of what has been said in those meetings and what has come out with what he has said in the past that many fobbed off as conspiracy theory, which is really irritating because you've just proved him right. That's just gonna. He's already nuts, anyways, on that brain force. But it really it doesn't help. Although I still,
I do want to point out that conspiracy theorists, even if they get some of the details right, a lot of the time, their conspiracies are based in some form of truth. Like, for example, the Pizzagate conspiracy wasn't fully wrong, was it?
No, it wasn't fully wrong.
There were Clinton-associated child sex trafficking rings going on, as evidenced by today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, were they wrong? Well, no. Technically, no. I hate when they're right because you have to admit it. Or you could not admit it, but then you become Jerry Nadler.
Ha! Shots fired, everyone.
Well, that's where he's sitting, and he's sitting in a major position of power in the House.
He is.
So we're kind of fucked.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's all I have. What do you have?
Honestly, I don't.
Oh.
I am actually done.
Okay. I may put out a video tomorrow. I know. I'm going to put out a video tomorrow. It's a short one based on something that the House recently passed that actually means something to me. So I'm going to be putting that out sometime tomorrow afternoon, probably.
Well, in that case, then, I'll shill something. I have one thing to shill. Not that. You absolute moron. I have one thing I'm going to shill anyway. It will be in the chat in a moment. Go subscribe to Trups LP. We're done.
Oh, great.
Thank you all very much for joining. We shall be back next week. Fingers crossed.
Yep.
And I'll hopefully have regular content on this channel because I haven't got another bloody kids climbing frame to build. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah. Say goodnight, Trups.
Good night, Trups.
Good night, Trups. We're done.